On this channel, we provide useful programming information with practical code examples. This time, it's about the CSS properties related to Flexbox. You can learn how to use Flexbox and inline Flexbox. Enabling subtitles will make the code descriptions easier to understand. First, let's look at Flex. Flex is a property used in CSS to efficiently align and arrange elements, and it is part of the Flexbox layout system. This system is mainly for easily aligning and distributing child elements, flex items, within a container and is more flexible than traditional float or position. The Flexbox class specifies the display property as flex to apply the flex layout. The justify content property with space between places items at the left and right ends while equally distributing the space between them. Align items property set to center vertically centers the items. Flexbox has two main components, the flex container and the flex items. The flex container is the parent element that wraps the child elements, specified using display flex. Flex items are the elements placed inside the flex container, meaning the direct children of the container. The following properties are related to the flex container. Specify flex in the display property to define a flex container. The internal child elements become flex items. The flex direction property specifies the direction in which the flex items are placed. The following values can be specified. Row aligns horizontally from left to right. This is the default value. Row reverse aligns horizontally from right to left. Column aligns vertically from top to bottom. Column reverse aligns vertically from bottom to top. The justify content property specifies how flex items are aligned horizontally along the main axis. Flex start aligned to the start left. Flex end aligned to the end right. Center aligned. Space between distribute space evenly between items. Space around distribute space evenly around items. The align items property specifies how items are aligned vertically along the cross axis. Flex start aligned to the top. Center vertically centered. Flex end aligned to the bottom. Stretch stretches to fill the container height. Baseline aligned to the text baseline. The flex wrap property specifies whether items should wrap if they exceed the container's width. Now wrap number wrapping. This is the default value. Wrap wraps items. Wrap reverse wraps items in reverse order. The following properties are related to flex items. The flex grow property specifies the growth rate of an item. The larger the value, the more space the item occupies compared to others. If 0, the item will not grow. This is the default value. If 1 or higher, the growth rate is specified. The flex shrink property specifies the shrink rate of an item. The larger the value, the more the item will shrink. If 1, the item will shrink when there is not enough space. This is the default value. If 0, it will not shrink. The flex basis property specifies the initial width or height of each item. Usually it is the size on the main axis. The default value is auto, which is based on the content size, but you can specify fixed values in pixels or percentages. The align self property specifies how to align an individual flex item along the cross-axis. It can override the value specified by align items. The order property changes the display order of flex items. The default is 0, but specifying a positive number moves it later, and a negative number moves it earlier. The advantages of Flexbox include the following points. Flexible layout. You can flexibly control the alignment, spacing, and direction of elements. Ideal for responsive design. Child elements automatically adjust according to the size of the parent element. Next, let's look at the inline flex property. Inline flex is a layout style in CSS that allows you to lay out the contents using Flexbox while aligning the element along the inline flow. It behaves similarly to display flex, but inline flex makes the element itself behave as an inline element. In this example, the inline flex is applied to the container class. Therefore, the container class behaves as an inline level element within the parent div element. At the same time, the elements of the item class, which are child elements within the container class, are arranged according to the rules of the Flexbox. In this example, justify content space between is used, so space is evenly distributed between child elements. Inline flex is particularly useful in cases such as when you want to use a flex layout with inline elements. It is useful when you need to use Flexbox for positioning in small UI components like buttons or icons. For example, when you want to align an icon and text side by side and center them. When building complex layouts while maintaining inline flow. It is used when you want to leverage the power of Flexbox to make the internal layout flexible while having it act as an inline element. For example, when you want to line up multiple elements in the same row and adjust child elements within them. The source code for this video can be downloaded from the official website. If you like, please visit the URL in the description to aid your learning. Thank you for watching. This channel provides practical and useful information about programming. Subscribe to the channel and let's deepen our programming skills together.